I knew it. The sequel to Total War Warhammer is going to be the New World. And a lot of you guys might be thinking to yourself, well, Sunjutsu, you've created lots of videos talking about what the next parts of the sequels or the expansions or the DLCs for Total Warhammer could be. So, what are you talking about that you were right when it comes to the sequel being the New World? Well, a lot of the things that I was talking about when it comes to like Ulthuan, when it comes to the Tomb Kings, when it comes to Skaven, were more set to be. When I was talking about Ulthuan, I was talking more about expansion. When I was talking about Tomb Kings and Skaven and all that, I was talking about DLC. When I made a video talking about the sequel to this game, it was, in my mind, it couldn't be anything else than the New World. And I think that they're gonna finish off with the third game being the rest of the rest of the land masses, or the ones that are fully fleshed out, because as some of you guys have pointed out, the Total War Warhammer or the Warhammerverse isn't really fleshed out completely by Games Workshop. A lot of the stuff like Nippon, Arabe, stuff like that, they are fan made. A lot of the units are fan made. A lot of the histories are fan made. So they might not go into that direction, and I'll talk about that in another video. But for this, they've had this counter on their website, and it says it's counting down the days till, I believe, next Friday. Yeah, it is next Friday, 7 days. And that's when they were talking about they're going to make this press release, and they're going to talk about the future of the game. They're going to be talking about what's coming next, what are they going to be working on, stuff like that. So this just says everything. It's a steaming jungle, and in the far distance you see a temple. Looks like some sort of Aztec influenced temple. We all know Lizardmen have temple like this, so it's almost certain that the Lizardmen are the sequel to this. And I mean, it could be anything else. For them to make bank on a sequel that everyone's going to be really interested in, I mean, this is what needs to happen, because for me especially, I'm extremely excited. The Lizardmen are by far my favorite faction in Warhammer, so I'm really excited to take a hold of them and fight off Chaos, fight off Elves, fight off Skaven. So let me go ahead and tell you exactly how I think this is going to play out and what the information they're going to give to us in a week's time. So in a week, this is what I'm thinking. They're going to be giving us a trailer. The trailer is going to be really not show much of the Lizardmen at all, but probably is going to be going through this jungle in particular, through the temples, and maybe it'll show a glimpse of a Lizardman. That's probably going to be the trailer that's going to happen for something along those lines for the sequel. And then I assume I think the sequel is going to come probably by the end of this year. I don't think it's going to come much earlier than that. Then you have the stuff they're going to tell us about. They're going to tell us about exactly how they're going to be patching the games together, how the Total War Warhammer and Total War Warhammer 2 are going to coincide and connect to each other, how you're going to be able to get from the old world and get to the new world and vice versa. Basically, this game is going to have naval combat reestablished into the game. Now, whether it's going to be its full glory, where you're going to be able to play battles on the oceans, on the high seas, that's complete speculation. More than likely, in my opinion, it's going to be auto resolve, but I hope that it's going to be actual battles, because that would be fucking epic. And so they're gonna explain that. They're gonna show us probably some character models, maybe, of some of the characters they're gonna be thinking of having, like maybe, because they did state that they have some their team is working on some character models, and that's why I'm thinking this game is gonna come at the end of this year, and probably the latest, probably the same time around May of 2018. That's where it's also gonna come. So that means they're gonna have to add a lot of DLCs and expansions to the original Warhammer, and there is things that they can add, because we still have, I said again, Talea, Istalia that don't have that fleshed out feel to them. We don't have Kislev that's fleshed out. We don't have the Ogre Kingdoms that they could add on as DLC, Tomb Kings they could add on as DLC, and I believe that 100% before we get this sequel, we're gonna get the Skaven in the old world. We're gonna get the Skaven faction there, and then we're gonna have their connections to, and that's gonna bring their connections to the new world essentially. And in the new world, we have a plethora of factions that we can go ahead and play as. We can play as a Lizardman. We can play as a Skaven. There's vampires on there. the vampire virus made its way to the New World through settlers. I mean, there are human factions on the New World that are just small outposts. There are elves. They're more than likely they're going to incorporate chaos into the bunch. So there are factions that you can actually play as. One thing I'm really curious about is what factions can go from across the ocean seas to attack the old world and vice versa. Like, can the orcs use ships to go to the New World? Can Lizardmen use ships to go to the old world? That's kind of what I'm talking about. Can Bretonnians do this? You know, can any faction really be on the high seas and travel? I hope that that's true, but if they're going to go through a more lore-centered route, I don't think that's going to happen, because they're trying to keep things really lore-centric, and that's kind of why I use mods for my games to try to make them more, in my opinion, more Total War-ish, more Total War-centered and less lore-centered when it comes to, you know, being able to conquer certain things and stuff like that. So this is exciting news. I'm really excited. I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% right, because a lot of people were saying that it's the New World, and again, I threw a lot of theories out there. But look at it, it looks freaking fantastic. I'm excited to see this go through. I'm excited to have this, you know, finally be shown the light next Friday, and I'll be more than happy to go ahead and you know, give it its kudos and give them a pat on the back if this game is fantastic, just like I believe Total Warhammer has been. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you guys think. What are your theories about what's going to come out in the new expansion, a new game? I mean, the sequel to Total War Warhammer. Let me know in the comment section below, and what you guys think we're going to see next Friday. Drop me a like if you like my video, please. Let me get at least 50 likes. Or let's get 50 likes for Lustria, if anything. This theming beautiful jungle. Let's see if we get 50 likes for that. As always, this is going to be Sunjutsu signing off.